Photo, Saul Martinez, New York Times. The March for Our Lives rally in Parkland, Florida, in March is one example of young people telling us what they need. In this case, being safe. What they want can be very good for all of us. The March for Our Lives rally in Parkland, Florida, in March is one example of young people telling us what they need. In this case, being safe. What they want can be very good for all of us. Photo, Saul Martinez, New York Times. Young people win by telling us what they need. Loudly, the young people will win. That line has become a rallying cry among young people, many of them high school students, using their voices to call for gun control legislation in response to an increase in school shootings. It was a line repeated in a speech several times by Christian Bales, a valedictorian in Kentucky who was not allowed to deliver that speech at his Catholic high school's graduation ceremony. The school said that the speech, along with one from another student, wasn't turned in on time for review. Once the speeches were turned in, they were found to touch on political issues the school wanted to avoid. Bale's mom told CBS News that a phone call from the school led her to believe it might have had more to do with concerns about what the openly gay student might wear to graduation. Whether it was an issue with the message or a fear of attire, the students were not allowed to speak. In response, Bales delivered his speech anyway, outside of the school, with the help of a megaphone. The Cincinnati Enquirer published his speech online. The national media reported the story. As a result of being silenced, more people heard his message than if he'd been allowed to read it on stage amid yawns and classmates itching to get on with their lives. Recommended video, digitalization has changed tourism. Exploring new destinations, booking, planning what to do, and even post-holiday reviews about our experiences. All of this takes place online. At ITB Berlin, the world's biggest travel fair, digitalization is a core topic for 10,000 exhibitors from 186 countries. Apps, social media, virtual reality, 360 degrees videos, it's the end of traditional travel as we know it. And no matter who you speak to, they'll tell you it's a game changer. Today's tourists interact at every stage of their journey. A great experience, and, conversely, a bad one, is likely to be exposed much more than ever before through social networks. So how do travel destinations do this? The Seychelles in the Indian Ocean increasingly lets influencers temporarily take over its own social media accounts. The National Tourism Board says that influencers are not paid. What they get is the country's beauty as a backdrop to impress and to enlarge their following. What they do for us, say Sharon Francis, CEO of the Seychelles Tourism Board, is they drive a lot of their traffic to our social media page. And once the people are on there, they stay on there. They are now our followers even if after 1 week the influencers give us back the page. Quote, yet tourists can become advertisers. Visitors were asked to film their experiences. The prize for the winning Romanian couple, another trip to the Seychelles, this time to the presidential villa on the North Island. It might be a bit wobbly at times, but the entrants sure generate plenty of free of charge footage. The amount of content, it's amazing, says France. We would have had to pay $50,000 to get a company to produce this content. And we did it through a competition, and of course we will be doing more of this. Quote, so how do you get your target group involved? It's a key question for the travel industry today. The larger the potential audience, the bigger you have to think. People are glued to their phones, says Kathy Domenico, Vice President, Global Trade Development, Brand USA. So we created apps, we created large-screen movies to help people learn about destinations. The US has just launched not just a website or a social media page but an entire first-of-its-kind connected TV network called Go USA. It is a source for on-demand video content about travel experiences in the USA, in single episodes, or even travel series. Brand USA say its aim is to generate 3 million views in the TV network's first year. It's a great platform, says Domenico. It's loaded with destination content and the audience can stream it. Kazakhstan is launching an online game through which tourists can explore 100 holy sites. There will be an app you'll be getting certain currency, like coins, says Kairat Sadvikasov, Deputy Chairman, Kazakh Tourism. The more you progress with visiting and traveling these 100 spots, you'll be getting titles. The highest title will be Khan. The coins you'll get while traveling you'll be able to monetize, to upgrade your flight, depending on the partners we have on this program. The app will have both content for virtual play and content closely tied to geolocation, which means you can only discover it on the ground by visiting Kazakhstan's diverse landscapes. Although the game will be mostly for a home audience to begin with, Kazakh Tourism says engagement is a field with great untapped potential, both domestically and internationally. Fun in the sun for your holidays seems to be a thing of the past. Travelers today want more. User experience, personalization and proactivity are the new watchwords. And destinations such as India are aware of these changes. Afans Kanandanam, Indian Tourism Minister, today actually people don't just travel for the sake of traveling. People want to have individual experiences. So, it all depends on a whole lot of feedback. So, I think that influenced the decision-making of people. This is true about younger people, but when you mean young media, your own is in this case, the young person one. This isn't surprising, considering that to become valedictorian you've got to use your head for more than a hat rack. It seems a lot of us don't want the young people to win. The young people will win. Kids are painted as whiny tantrum throwers, naive and easily manipulated by adults with agendas. Thing is, ultimately, the young people will win because they just want to exist in a way that doesn't hurt. It's hard to admit, but it's true. I learned this the hard way when I tried to butt heads with my 18-month-old baby. She wasn't on a schedule, not really. She didn't care if, on any given day, nap time ran long or short. It didn't make a difference to her if all the errands were done or if the pile of laundry was bigger than her, or me. At the end of the day, she had nothing to lose. All she cared about was that she was hungry, or gassy, or cold, bored, scared, stressed or tired. Crying was the most effective form of communication, and not crying meant nothing would change. Existing in a way that didn't hurt was all that mattered to that little creature, and she had no problem letting everybody within earshot know, regardless of where we were or who turned around and gave me the disapproving stink eye. And that stink eye, witness to the idea that we should know better, the embarrassment of not being able to get them to conform, our failure to protect them from what all humans feel, is what drives us to silence them when they have something to say. It's what makes us try to fight them. Thing is, they are us. We need to tell them what we want for them, and then see if that looks anything like what they want to. We need to show them how to do things so they can build better mousetraps. And we need to accept their differences so they don't waste time fighting fruitless battles instead of winning the big war. because the young people always win, and that can be a very good thing for us. Mira Anglin writes at gmail.com.